We welcome you once, we welcome you twice, we welcome you in the name of Jesus Christ. This is the Word in Conversation podcast. I am your host, Aris Manuel, along with the dude.
Yeah.
And so, along with the dude, we're here on tonight doing the podcast. This is episode 4 of season 1. We're excited to be here.
Yes.
If you can already tell, we're here, and it was my idea.
Yes.
Right? It was my idea, right?
Yes.
And so I wanted to talk about relationships. I want to talk about marriage. I want to talk about life. I want to talk about growth. I want to talk about all those different things. And so who better to talk about these things with than Dude and I's wife, right? So our wives are here on today. Latricia Manuel, my wife, is here. My beautiful wife is here, along with Dude's wife. Patrice Moore is here, and so I had to get those.
My beautiful friend.
And so I got to get there. I was getting there. So don't do it. Don't attack me. So I was getting there, right? So I was going to say that I was going to give these names out first, so everybody know who they are.
Oh, okay.
Because like when we hang out, those names go out the door. I think I'm the only one. Patrice called me friend, and then we don't have no names. Yeah, all names go out the door when we all hang out. So. Latricia, Patrice, John, Aris. Last time. I'm Dude. To Dude, I'm Dude. Mm-hmm. He's Dude because I'm Dude. And then this is Love. And then that's Friend. And then Friend called me Friend. Right? So that's Friend. Okay? So we got all those formalities out the way. We know who everyone is now. But I had this idea to talk.
Collectively, this is Eminem.
Collectively, yes. Collectively, this is Eminem. This is what we do. If anybody joined us on Facebook, Trees Goes Live. And does Friday night date night. And we've been busy with these kids, and so we haven't date nighted in a while.
They got too many kids.
Yeah, she said we had too many kids, but then they also they went on a date night with other people.
They did.
They did.
We gotta talk about that.
We'll talk about that also. We'll talk about jealousy too. That's part of relationship. That's part of relationship, right? Jealousy.
Hey, it spawned off of love, off seeing what we were doing.
Yeah. I saw it and I was like, I was doing something else.
I showed you.
Yeah, we're doing something else.
Because she missed it. I did. And
she did?
I said, babe, you see, they on date night. And that's not us.
That's not us. It's not us. It was so messed up. And we laughed. I forgot what we were doing. And when she showed me, and I stopped immediately. And I think I hit y'all. Like,
you did.
I was like,
you did.
Friend, what are you doing? So yeah, they went out with other people, but we enjoy each other's company, and we have a blast. And so we do. We go to different restaurants. I don't know if we talked about this before, but we do. I think John and I, we've talked about it before on the podcast. We talked about how we go out on Fridays and stuff like that. But we go to different restaurants. Teresa and I, we talked about it before. So Teresa and I are the ones that actually pick up or come up with the ideas for restaurants and events and all that type of stuff. Because Teresa is the trip lady, so she likes to do stuff.
I do.
She loves to do stuff.
I can't stand to be still.
Yes, and so we do when we go out with friends. Friends want to go, and so we always going. And so because we do, and so I think we started. I don't know who our idea was when we started date night. Who started that process? Was it Treese also? So yeah, Treese.
Yeah.
Y'all talking about me. Me and my friend are one. We are trying.
Because these two are like.
Right. And so,
give us some truffle fries, we straight.
Oh my gosh.
What I ate Saturday.
So we had our anniversary. She's not even lying. Like for real. So we had our anniversary.
For the anniversary.
No, Saturday. At B&B's, I did not eat truffle fries.
Okay. What you mean at truffle? Oh, you did.
I ate at Toro. I ate truffle fries.
You did eat at Toro. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. She had a salad on anniversary night.
I did.
She
at B&B?
At B&B. She pieced. You saw my friend's face? Because we understand how to eat. My honey and dude don't know how to eat.
My salad was delicious with my macaroni and cheese and my Brussels sprouts.
That's all she ate. It was good though. Cause we went back to B&B, so it was good. It was really good though.
With the bread service.
They didn't have a bread service when we went, huh?
Some of us haven't had dinner yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Also joining us on tonight in production is the Right Reverend, who would let us know.
Reverend.
So the Right Reverend is here also behind the camera. We need to get him a camera. and a mic, so he can. Don't find mute. Don't find mute. But yeah, so we want to talk about relationship and having fun and all that type of stuff. So we're here on tonight. So I asked our wives to join us on tonight. And Treese was like, "Give me a script." My honey was like, "What are we talking about?" Right. We just talk. That's all we do. We just talk. So we know each other's stories. I know how me and my honey got together. So if you are just joining us on tonight, you're going to be able to hear our stories, how we got together. Treese and Dude, like my friend and Dude, their story is nice, and they're going to give their story. I give my side of the story of how we got together, and it's a fantastic story. It's a fantastic story. So just to start off tonight, we want to hear. Don't move the mic. So we want to hear. So just tell the people, like, how did you two meet? How did my friend and how did Dude meet?
Ladies first.
What's the name of it? Desiree.
We
was at Desiree. Actually, I was out with some girlfriends hanging out at Desiree because they had asked me to come out because I was pretty much a homebody.
When was that?
That was in 2001.
Early 2000.
Yeah.
I don't know that friend. That's a homebody.
At that time I had a small child.
And
actually, she was out of town. And I was still at home. And so my girls was getting me out. And so, like I said, we was at Desiree's. At a lounge.
At a lounge. I like how you changed it to now we're live. She changed it before we started. When I told her, I'm going to ask about your relationship. I'm going to ask you how you met John.
At the club.
And so now, with a nice sweet tone, it's at a lounge.
Y'all put the right vocabulary on it. And you telling everybody.
I didn't tell everybody. Okay, so y'all was at the lounge.
Yes.
Okay. So y'all was at the lounge. Dude, were you there by yourself?
No.
Was it just
you
me
and Mo?
It was me and Mo. And the crazy thing about it, I wasn't gonna go out that night. But then we went walked in.
That's crazy that both of y'all weren't planning on going out there.
It's real talk. It's so crazy.
Mother Stevens said she knows both stories.
When we went in, the dance floor is pretty wide. When you come in the door, Treese and her girls were to the left, kind of middle way of the dance floor. Me and Mo went all the way to the other side. Sat down at the table, and it's dark in there. So it's dark in the club. I seen it right
in the lounge.
So.
I seen it, and what caught my eyes that I seen like a couple of guys go ask her to dance or whatever, and she wouldn't get up. I told Mo, I said, she finna dance.
She finna dance with me, yo. I love the story.
And when I went over there, it was all she wrote then.
Bruh, I feel that. That's how it goes.
That's because my girls made me.
Nah.
Because he was just standing over there looking pitiful. He kept looking at me.
What? Oh, hey, I was looking for that one. That was a good one. I was looking for that one.
Oh, my God.
Man.
I felt sorry for this human over here who's looking pitiful.
Oh.
It's crazy. It seems like we click pretty good.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say, might hear about this later on, but I can honestly say she's the best thing ever happened to me.
Oh, that's sweet.
That is sweet.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I only looked at you because you hit a real fake tissue.
That's a real tissue. That was a real tissue. Now you know my dude is sweet. My dude is really sweet.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He is. Hence, Treese already said, John and I our life. John and I are these hopeless romantics and lovey-doveys. You hitting that
it was real. It was real.
Oh, okay.
It was real.
Okay.
So
I
Yes,
see it
sir.
all in your eyes.
thank you, friend. Thank you,
Don't hype him
friend.
up.
Thank you,
Do not
friend.
hype him up.
Oh
Thank
my
you,
God.
Thank you. I felt it. Right.
Cousin don't help him.
Somebody in there cutting onions. It was real. So that's cool. I always enjoy you guys though, because it is amazing that you guys, like, neither one of y'all were planning on going out, and then y'all.
And what's so crazy? That week I had been in revival,
What? Look at God. I don't think I heard that part.
and the preacher that night was talking about not meeting folks in the club.
What? And you met your husband
In the club.
In the club.
Hey, that's what this one thing about this podcast. It's gonna be rich. God can work. God can move. What you about to say, dude?
And the crazy thing about it, at that particular time,
You wasn't going to
I had
church.
stepped back from the church.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I stepped back, like, far back. I ain't go back into the street,
Yeah.
but I stepped back.
That's
Start
so
going to
great.
clubs again.
Friend, I ain't never heard that one.
Yeah, I ain't never heard that one.
Man, in the revival. And they
That
said,
was between her and the father.
and they said,
I guess.
they said, don't be going out there getting them messed up thugs all in the
You
dark
don't want to
clubs.
find your husband in the club.
You ain't gonna find your husband.
So
in
people,
the
y'all
club.
can find them.
Right, Reverend. Scratch the word, right, Reverend.
You just never know.
How about
Right.
You can't. I can't tell you that, and it's like so good. Like, we can't tell you where to find your spouse.
Right.
And it's so crazy because, like, Trisha and I, to tell our story, Trisha and I, we didn't find each other in the church either. Mm-hmm. So I met Trisha in college, and I love the story because I walked in. I should have known.
Don't tell it the way you tell
I'm gonna
it.
tell my story. I'm gonna tell our story the way the story goes.
no?
Okay.
Don't
Tell
it.
a friend.
Thank you, friend.
No.
Thank you. So the way Trisha and I don't do that. They need to hear this.
No.
And so the way Trisha and I
Don't
met,
lie to the
I'm not.
people.
I haven't even said a word yet.
Because I know you, and
Yeah,
I know
I'ma
every time you tell the story, you
I
exaggerate.
tell the story. So here we go. So popcorn, got it. So what we did was, so I graduated high school and started school at Prairie View A&M. So went to Prairie View. The Prairie View A&M. And so when I went to Prairie View, I was working at Domino's when I first started off, but then I needed a better job. They finally built a Walmart down there in Cypress. So I got the job in Cypress. Mm-hmm. And the first day I actually worked on the floor was a Saturday. And I had been in the back doing all the training. So first day I actually worked on the floor was a Saturday. So I was in there, and then it was time for my lunch. Mm-hmm. And so when I went into the break room, it was a bunch of young people in the break room. Like, I had never worked with that many black people all at once. Mm-hmm. And it was young black people too. And they all went to Prairie View. And so when I walked in the room, it was a bunch of black people. And I think at that time, I might have been an introvert at that time before something changed in me, which is crazy. It was a shit. Because when I walked in the room, I was shy. I remember that. I was shy. Cousin, you laughing entirely too hard. I think I was an introvert at that time. Some change. I think the Lord changed me. We'll talk about that later.
You were just a little intimidated. That's all.
I could have been. So I walked in the room, and when I walked in the break room, I saw all these people, and I saw all these, like, beautiful ladies, and I saw these cool guys and all type of stuff. But toward the end of the table was this lady, was this young lady, and she was, like, gorgeous. I thought she was amazing. And so I saw her, I was like, oh, she's so pretty. And I thought she was hot. But I never said nothing to her because I was intimidated. I was too young. Blah, blah. Anyway, so I saw her. I thought she was amazing. So as the time went on, all this stuff was street. She hasn't interjected. So all this stuff was street. So she began, like, I saw her walking around the store. I talked to a girl that she knew, and I was like, I think she's cute, and all that type of stuff. I think she wouldn't have told you that I thought you were cute or something like that. I don't know if she told you that.
Either Keisha or Gina.
Gina.
Oh yeah, I think Gina was trying to tell me.
Yeah.
Which was your friend.
Yeah, Gina was me and Gina became real cool. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, hey, she's hot. And so they were like, she was like, I think she told her, and Trish was like, I'm not into him. She was talking to this other guy, and she had no time, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So she wasn't interested in me.
I didn't do all of that, but great.
I felt it in the background. She was like, yeah, gross, he's young, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I go back and look at my pictures of myself, I understand why she was like, I wasn't cute. I wasn't cute, friend. I thought I was cute. I wasn't cute. Anyway, so we so Trisha ended up graduating because she's super smart, and so she graduated early, and she left, and I never saw Trisha again, and so didn't think about it at all. So fast forward about 2 years, we were at Bible study at the church, and while I was at Bible study, we kept going. We were going at Bible study, and I just wasn't in the mood for Bible study that day, which is so crazy. I just wasn't in the mood for Bible study. And I walked outside, and I think dude wasn't in the mood for it either.
I don't know why I was out there.
And dude was outside. When I walked outside, dude was outside.
Heathenist.
Right?
At Bible study.
At Bible study. I don't know why. I don't know.
Not you did it,
right. I don't know why we wasn't in the mood. Like when I walked outside, I was like, oh, so I'm supposed to be outside. And so we were standing outside, and so dude and I, we made our way to the street. We were just talking. Like, me and dude, we just talking. And so as I was standing at the street, the best part of the story coming. As I'm standing at the street talking to dude, this car comes and it's almost like runs me over. And so when it runs me over, I kind of, I hear a beep and all that type. So I look up, and it's Trisha in her little Yaris. And so she sees me. I'm like, oh, that's Trisha from college, from Walmart. She hops out the car, runs at me with a big hug.
He's lying.
No, it's not.
Lying right here. Lie interjected here.
She runs. She gives me this big old hug.
I need a whiteboard.
And because her grandmother, coincidentally, her grandmother stayed down the street from the church. Still stays down the street from the church, and she was leaving her grandmother's house. And so right there on the street, we got reunited. And back then she didn't want me, but then when she saw me that day, she thought I was the hottest thing on the planet, and she all on me. She all on me. She never let me go ever since. We've been together for 16 years now. Wow. Right, we've been together for 17 years. Been married for 16 years. Married for
Never heard that story.
Really? Yeah, that's how we met.
I knew
Lathan was like,
Walmart now somewhere. But
Lathan didn't know what that's how we met. I was standing in front of the church, and dude chilling, and dude.
I don't be in people's business.
Yeah, right. But I think Lathan, dude, remember like Trisha running and grabbing on me and stuff like that. It's been one.
I remember.
So you told Treese to start off her story, and then you started off your story, so you can add your exaggerations to your story.
You want to tell your part of the story?
But it's okay because God knows. The heart, God knows everything, and so
Do you want to tell your side?
What I will say is that you are correct. That when we were at Walmart.
You went back to Walmart.
Yeah, no.
You're not correct about it at the church.
No, come back. That you are correct. When we were at Walmart, I did look at you because I thought it was strange that people were telling me that, you were into me or whatever because I was already with the child, all the things, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was like, he don't see this big old belly?
I saw you.
And all the things, but okay.
She was glowing.
She was glowing.
I can't say that. I was actually really gorgeous.
She's gorgeous. She's gorgeous.
But when I did see you again, I did leave my grandmother's house. I did see you standing there. I do remember John standing there. I did get out of the car. I did not jump and claw you the way you said. However, I am grateful that I stopped because, Treese told them people, y'all go to the club. You can find one at the club. I'm not telling everybody that, but I will tell them that things that you pass up on or you don't realize that you may need, you don't realize it at that point in time. Mm-hmm. And so when you say, "Oh, I looked a certain way," I didn't. Then I don't even know if that was the case. I think it was just the fact that I was tied to what I was tied to at that point. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I ever looked at you to be able to say, was I attracted or not? Mm-hmm. But what I do know is me coming back around or us coming back in the way God allowed us to meet again and to crazily been down the street from each other 4 years, right. Because it's the only house my grandmother has ever lived in, right. And we literally walked up and down the street that the church was on, went to all the places, and I had never seen you before.
It is nuts.
Without being an hour in some way. Mm-hmm. But I just think that it is the way that God moves, and places things because he heard. Tree said she was in revival. He heard my prayers. He heard what I needed.
So, I'm amazing to you.
But to build off of what Trisha just said, I can truly attest to that as well. Because just the year before, actually, almost, because we met like in August, like the September the year before, I had lost my husband.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like she was saying, what she had prayed for, I had done the same thing. And like you said, you never know where that person is going to be. Because even after I met John and got to know John, his story and everything, like I tell people, what I told him, if I had seen his information on an application,
That's pretty good.
I would have been like, this is not
This is a
the
no
person
for me.
for me.
That's a no for me.
That is so good.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And then even at that time, because I mean, John is a big dude.
Yeah.
I had never dated a big dude like John.
You know what? I didn't even
And so I was like, he's cute, he's handsome. But I was like, I don't know. But for some reason, I was like, get to know him and the person that he is. And after I got to know him, he was all right.
He was so right.
I was all right.
Now let him need a decision.
But no, that's good. I liked it. I never thought about that. Looking at a resume, because I think a lot of people do that nowadays. Cause
Oh,
yeah.
no, dating apps and everything.
You
They
look-
check credit and everything.
Yeah, that's how people like getting to know each other now. That's how they're
Right.
making their choices off of their application of what hobbies they like, their past, and all of that type
Right.
of stuff. And so when I saw Trisha, I never saw. I guess even from like when you were pregnant with Kennedy, like I never saw you in any other light, which is amazing, because like I came up, everybody know how I came. I came up 2-parent household and all that type of stuff, and so it was the structure. I'm the oldest child, so I'm supposed to do everything the way it's supposed to go, in the fashion and the order that it's supposed to go in.
Good grooming.
Good grooming, right? And so I'm supposed to do all that type of stuff. So when it came to Trisha, when Trisha was with had Kennedy, so when we got together, like I had it in my mind, like this is what I'm going to, my life is going to be a particular way. And so, but when I met Trisha, like she had Kennedy, like it still never. I've seen other women that I had talked to that had kids, and I was like, and I found out they had kids. I was like, nah, like I'm too young for that. Like, like I'm gonna have my own kid. But then when I met Trisha, that
Wasn't even a second thought.
it wasn't even a second thought. Like immediately, we went into that, and that's so good. Like I said, I want to use that factor of like application, like throw the application out the door and get to know the person. And I think that's so good.
I was about to say, because I think that it's important because whatever God was doing in the pathway He was putting us on, it became a non-factor for you. The way it was a non-factor for Trees, but it still was around, like publicly. That resume, that application was still there.
Oh yeah,
Because it was really difficult for me to come into a space where people had preconceived notions of what your life should have been, what I was able to bring, without really and truly getting to know my story or getting to know why my resume or what was on the application was what it was.
right.
And so I find it, and I give all joy and like praise and honor to the God that I serve, because that application that people had a problem with, there was a story behind it. And I look at John and like Tree said, if you look at it, there's a story behind it. And it's scary at first, right? But it's scary. I remember you telling me, you know, you were afraid. I remember sitting down with your mama because she was afraid of what this meant. That I had a baby. What is this going to mean? But I also know what God told me and who I was as her mother and what my expectations were in my life.
Right. And that's good, because as you were saying that, I started thinking about the Bible scriptures, and I never heard it till now. Like as y'all were talking, like it started coming in my mind of scripture talking about being not being unequally yoked, and for so many years, even up to this point, like it was like I look at that scripture, and like I say, I'm not doing a Bible study at this point in time, but I do want to look at it now, even more so as we talk about it. That being unequally yoked, I thought about it like going to church and, you know, believing in God, and that's like those are like the key factors, right? Those are good, like
The base,
the basis, right? The foundation of do you believe in God? Yes, cool. Okay, we're on the same page. Okay, do you go to church? No. Do you go to church? Yes. Like you know, that those are, you know, how's our life going to be? But that factor also of we're at the same place, because you guys was at that same place. People like, I wasn't ready to go out. I didn't know what I want to do in a relationship. Coming out of basically being a widow, right? Coming out of tragedy, dude coming out of divorce, and just out there, you know, living life, and all those type of things. But it got to the point where, even though we're coming from two separate places, you guys come from two separate places, we're on the same playing field, and we're equal. We have the same goal. We have things that we're trying to do in life. We have similar ideals, but we didn't know that. Right. And I think what can be a challenge for those who are single, if you're watching on tonight, is that looking at the factor of that we look at other people and we put that barrier with that unequally yoked, especially with those who are Christians, and we stop at that foundation. Okay, we're gonna stop at you don't go to church, I don't go to church. That can't work. And there's so many different things that come and grow from these relationships when we start saying that, you know what, God created us all, right? We're created us all, and we all have our flaws, we all have our difficulties. Now, if it's gonna be extreme that, you know, if I'm doing crack, you know what I mean, and Trish is not, you know, that's the job. But like, but if we're getting to know somebody in a relationship, it's gonna take a growing process in either way. I don't think anyone comes into a relationship just level yoke. You know what I mean? Just unless you're, I'm going to throw a plug out there also. Again, unless you're Lathan and Casey. and then they come in the door yoked up. Yeah, yoked up. Yoked up. They come in the door yoked up. But, you know, there's something, you know, but there's a growing process. Cause, like I said, because I know we have ours. And then you guys, they said honeymoon stage, it's all nice, but then life starts getting real. And then you guys, what things did y'all start to see in y'all relationship as that process is starting to build? What things did y'all start to grow from? And because I know with Trish and I, like I said, if y'all think about it for a second, I know with Trish and I, we talk about it all the time, and I think we use it in our counseling about the things that we went through, and the things that, because where I wasn't there without, like where I am now, I got there through scuffs, through battles, and to be where I am today. Because I didn't even realize that how selfish I was, because I had my mentality, I had my mindset, and Trish and I had to go through like battles to understand how we work. Trish came up under the Baptist Church, Church of Living God.
Church of Living God is non-denominational.
Okay.
But I grew up going to Baptist churches. But again, when you say unequally yoked, or like when we think about that, I think, yes, that base, yes, that must be true, right? We both have to be believers. We both have to, but when we think about that yoke part, what is the trajectory, right? Because who we are when we first meet, especially if you meet young or if you meet in like different parts of your life, like that's not who you are going to be, right? And so, but do we have the understanding, and do we have the willingness to say together we are willing to grow, right? Like I think then that, because that growth can be in Christ.
Yep.
That growth can be financially, that growth can be, right? So of course the whole goal is for it to be in Christ. But at the end of the day, if I'm equally yoked with someone, it has to be a willingness
Right.
to grow. Because there's no 100% match. It just that's just not what it is.
Not at all. That is what people are looking for.
Yeah,
too.
there's no 100% match, and I know that even in our counseling, we've had to tell some of the folks that we counsel, you're not going to get everything you're looking for. That is not going to happen. But without getting everything that you're looking for, can I get what is essential for me? And then we grow into the rest, right? And even then, you still not gonna get 100%, right? Because I mean, as much as I love you and as much as we're in a great space, I don't get 100%.
You heard it?
But that's
No,
so crazy.
I'm saying like where we are now.
Right.
Don't you start with me.
I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna get there.
Because like I was saying earlier when I said what I had prayed for, and one of the things was I wanted my person to be a man of God and to be in church first and foremost, because I didn't have that before. I and my daughter, we went to church. Okay, so then I was, and at that point, when we did get together, he wasn't, like I said, he was not in church at that time because he had told me of the story of why he wasn't there. And then when we got together, I was like, but that's your church. Why don't you go to your church?
She got my dude back. That's why she my friend. My dude left.
Yeah. And so, but like you said, I mean, it's so funny because me and Mother would talk all the time. All the time. Okay, and so you have your things, okay? Because I didn't want a man that had a whole bunch of children. Okay? He had one, I had one. And because of the fact that I felt before I had struggled in my marriage, that at least I wanted that person for me to, even if we struggle, just as long as we were struggling together, then I was fine with that. And that's exactly what I got. But on the other side, Mother would say all the time, well, you got the things that you prayed for. But when you praying for your spouse, you need to be specific.
Yeah.
I remember
Why both of y'all on that so hard?
No, because when we were doing our women's outings with the women of Community Chapel, I remember us having that conversation.
But this would be a me and her conversation
beforehand. But I remember us bringing that conversation up, and Mother Annie would be like, "Y'all better be specific."
Okay, because I'm like, he's not doing this, and he's not doing this. That's not what you pray.
That's not what you asked for.
That's not what you asked for. I don't think that's so funny. That is funny because at that time I don't think I was praying for a wife. No, you know what? I told because I was dating a lady. I'm trying not to say like chick. I was dating a chick. I know, right?
Because I was like a lady, and you was how old?
Thank you.
Hey, easy, killers.
God, go along with this story already.
But yeah, I was dating a chick, and it didn't work out because I told her I was like, I want a wife. I was like, I want a wife. And she was like, yeah, I'm not your wife, yo. I'm not. I was like, cool, that's what's up. But I don't think I ever prayed about, and I think that's so good that y'all say that you pray for something specific. I was looking for a wife. I didn't know that I was getting full wife because when I prayed for, I was like, I want a wife. I got full wife.
What's a full wife?
Full wife. So
that sounds like there's a partial wife.
No, I got a full wife. So when I married Trisha, and I want to say like y'all jump in if like dude if you felt this too, because or Trisha if you felt this way, because so when I married Trisha, we got together. Trisha had expectations, and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't pray for somebody that wanted expectations. We're just supposed to be together and be happy. Like that's all we're supposed to do. We're supposed to see each other. We're supposed to have lovey-dovey eyes. We're supposed to kiss, and we're supposed to make babies, and then and then go on about life. That's what we're supposed to do. And then I got with Trisha, and Trisha started asking questions like, "What do you want to do in your life?" Like, whoa, easy there. Easy. What are you doing? What are you doing right now? What do you mean? What I want to do in my life? I want to watch TV. That's what I want to do. What are you talking about? What you want to do in life? I'm like, you're trying to do too much. And so I had moved in with Trisha. We got married, and so she was like, let's get a bigger apartment. I was like, okay, cool, we'll get an apartment. And so we got an apartment, and we shared an apartment. And then I was 22, 23 years old, and Trish was like, hey, let's buy a house. I was like, I don't know what you mean by buy a house. I'm 22, 23 years old. I didn't finish school. You did. You're an adult. I need a parent.
Not I need a parent.
I need a parent to go.
You didn't finish college.
I didn't finish
school.
I finished high school. I didn't finish college. So I didn't finish college. And so I was like, I need a parent. I don't really have a real job. I don't know what you're talking about. You want to go buy a house. And so
You did. You was working for Centerpoint by then.
So let's back up.
Because I made sure of
so
that.
then, so while we're dating, so while we're dating, like Trisha, I was working at a car dealership, and so I was making like okay money, and I was fine. I was single. I had no kids or nothing.
Right.
And so Trisha was like, hey, Centerpoint. I told her, I said Jerome said Centerpoint is hiring. That's all I told Trisha. Trisha was like, hey, I applied for Centerpoint for you. She's like, I made your resume and everything. I was like, I don't know what you're doing. What are you talking about? What are you trying to do?
Have I ever given you a standing
Right. She was amazing. Right. And so I was like, what are you doing? She's like, you got
an interview?
And she's like, you have an interview. I was like, okay. So I went to the interview and I got the job. So when I got the job, and I started out with Centerpoint, so I'm with Centerpoint, now I'm with Centerpoint, and so they were like, you got benefits and everything. I was like, oh, I didn't know what benefits were. And so now I have benefits. And I'm like, okay, so then now I have a job and I'm working and all that type of stuff. She was like, okay, now you have a job and you have benefits. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna buy a house. I'm like, again, it's burn wine. I needed a parent, and so and she was like, you're gonna buy a house. I was like, that just doesn't make sense. And she was like, yeah, we're gonna save up money. We're gonna buy a house. And she said that. She said that like, hey, let's go to the store. Let's go grab some bread. I said, okay. And like we literally, Trees, I don't know if I told you that. We got up and we went and looked at a model home. And like I was like, okay, this is cool. We looked at a model home. This is nice. And she was, and so the people were like, y'all want to sit down and talk? Trish was like, yes, we're gonna sit down and talk. And so we sat down and talked. And so the lady kept talking, and I'm sitting there, and they're talking. I'm like, I need a parent. They're talking about adult things, and I don't know what's happening. And when we left out of there, they were like, cool, sign right here. You need a down payment of $1,000.
The earnest money.
And the earnest money of $1,000, and then you guys start planning for a house. And I was like, we're planning for a house. Cool, great. And so we went through that whole process. I was like, what are we doing? And Trisha just kept moving. She just kept moving. John, the trees have pulled, like she just kept moving. There's goals. Who sets goals?
Look, dude.
What did I just say about being?
When I met John, I had just applied to go back to school for X-ray. Because we met, 2001? We got married 2003. So I completed the first year because it was a 2-year program.
Okay.
In the second year, we planned our wedding and we built our house.
Oh, wait. Back.
We got married in November.
Back up.
We moved in our house that we built in December.
Well, y'all won't play the rap.
Back all the way up.
Back all the way up.
All the way up.
Because I know my dude.
I hadn't got my GED yet. First of all.
Right.
So.
And here we are.
So. We talk about things, and I'm like you.
Yeah.
I'm used to hustling in the street. Go pay what you want. I ain't paid note on nothing.
Nothing.
Bought what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Try to get a little bank account. I promise you. I wasn't used to keep no money in no bank. That joke over there was overdraft all the time. Cause I wasn't. Try to get my credit together. I bought a TV from Cons on Shepherd and 16. I lived in Acres Home at the time. I worked in Pasadena. I will pass that joker every day and forget to go pay for that little stanky TV.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's
I had the money, but I just forgot to go pay it.
That's
Give it Trees. Trees like, yeah, the same thing. Let's do this. And what do you want to do? What's the plan for this one? Plan?
Yeah.
I mean, we in the apartment. We straight.
We good.
So
That's how I was.
after that, she started talking about a house, right? In my mind, I can't see no payment for no house. And I can't see paying $1,000 for nothing a month.
Dude. Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a real thing.
So I don't know nothing about no insurance. I don't know nothing about no earnest money.
Nothing.
Trees had already been going to Fresno to talk to these people.
Mama.
And then next thing I know,
Hell.
I'm riding along one time. We go in there. I still remember the lady's name. Miss Linda, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Miss Linda.
That was the lady who bought
For this house.
for the house we had now, Miss Linda.
Miss Linda. Man, went in there, and I ain't gonna lie. She dragging me. We go in there. I remember picking out the brick and the siding.
The same day.
Yeah, same day. And when she got talking about the
They
doggone,
did do that same thing.
bro, she got talking about the earnest money, like you say, earnest money. Down payment. What? I'm like, wait a minute.
What we doing?
What? Because in my mind, I can't see my chips. So first of all, and with the wedding, say man, when I asked Trees how much that wedding cost, oh my God. I was sick. I was so many things can do that. And then look, she drug me all over the place, go to them dog. What you call them things? Them
Tastings and
Yeah.
shows and
Yeah.
stuff.
we still got some pots in there right now that they had gave us one time. But then I had never been out of, as far as I've been was Louisiana. Man, next thing I know, we on cruises. I ain't never flew nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Best thing ever happened to you.
I said that at the beginning of the show, bro.
She just needed to restamp it. Because basically,
Dude, like I said,
what I'm hearing from both of you is
Oh my God.
not necessarily the Bible says who finds a wife finds a good thing. But what I'm hearing from the both of you is when you find your wife, when you find your good thing, when you find the one that is made for you. Because from what I'm hearing is that we just made y'all better. That's what I'm hearing.
I'm gonna give it to you.
I'll give it to you. Hey, I ain't got no fight. You know.
Right. But at the time, like I said, I can go back to it. I needed a parent because everybody was adulting and I was not adulting.
But I think that even of us telling our stories of how we got together, I think that it's important because I think that, like Treese said, Treese had been married, she had her baby, all the things. John had been married, and all the things. But when you stopped and you prayed to God for what you wanted, so. Is that what we do now? We pray and we be still. Like, yes, there is a space where we be still and we wait. But we also have to start moving. So if I'm going to pray and I'm going to ask God and he starts to give me, am I supposed to sit there?
Right.
No, it's time to go. We've got to go. But I've got to go according to what he says. And so, yes, I am very much so not a complacent person. And you know me. Yeah. But I think that what the first question that Eris was asking y'all around, like, what were some of those...
Oh, yeah.
Those things that came after the honeymoon period. But a part of that for us was exactly what he's saying. It was good. The fact that I'm not complacent, once I get to a certain level and that becomes mundane, I'm moving. Okay, Lord, all right, what's the next? But I did not marry somebody that is always ready to do that on that quicker time frame. And that caused tension in our marriage because I'm like, hey, yo, all right, cool. We done with that. What's next? But that wasn't just in the things, the acquiring of things. That was in our emotional connection, in our, like, how we work together with each other. okay, it's great. You know my favorite food and my favorite color. What's next? Like, right? What does intimacy really look like? All right. I don't want to watch another movie. I don't want to go to the movie theater anymore. Like, what next? What's the next thing that we're doing? So a lot of that was us continuing to grow and learn each other, but not being complacent in the space that we're in and continuously evolving. And that was difficult for my husband.
It was.
I'm just looking at the comments.
Well, I think what was a struggle for us in the beginning of our relationship after marriage, period, because at that point, John was back in the church. And John was so, in his mind, set as far as living for God and how he was going to live for God, how him being the head of his household for his family, how we were going to live for God.
Right.
Okay? I struggle with that because, first of all, when we first met, I'm grown. You're grown. And so to tell me I can't do this and we can't do this, that was not working. So that was a battle. That was a big battle. Because of John's love for me, he had an idea of how I would look.
She just looked at him.
He was piecing it together. I got you.
So in that, I felt that he made me feel a certain way. As far as, I can't say my self-esteem, but he made me feel uncomfortable because I felt that he was always judging. So like I said, that was a big struggle in the beginning.
Okay.
Because I felt that he was always on it.
Like nitpicking.
Yeah. So that was a big, and of course, when we came into it, we came in with a blended family and stuff too. So there were things that we had to work out there. So I think that was like our biggest arguments that we had in the beginning. John is not an arguer. And because I'm a female.
Are you an arguer?
I can be. And then when I argue, then my pitch changes and he can't stand for you
We are
to
friends.
raise your voice at him.
Woo!
Because let me tell you what you ain't going to do. Do not holler at me.
Oh,
Because I'm all the
my
way grown. Bring that back on.
We argue. We supposed to get loud.
Do not
Because I need
tell
you to understand what I'm trying to get you to understand.
man.
Do you hear me?
I am all the way grown. And it'll be stuff that I know that I may have hurt his feelings or was wrong. I can take it if you talk to me. The moment he got loud, we were done. Do not get loud with me. Who are you talking to? I'm all the way grown. Don't do it. I can't even hear you now. I can't apologize. I can't do nothing.
Well, I need you to yell.
Because you just yelled at
That's how it
me.
was.
Oh my God.
And,
No, but when that was a lot of things I had to learn. I may have had the right, I guess, the thing at heart, but I went about the wrong way of doing it. And I had to adjust to things. And a lot of things, like when I would talk about certain things, it wasn't so much as that I was nitpicking or trying to control.
right.
But one of the things I tried to get Treese to see from my mind and my perspective, when we first met, when I first saw you, I saw you. I mean, it wasn't what you had on or how you was wearing it. I saw you, and you was beautiful to me just then. But like you say, she was grown. I'm grown and she know how to handle herself.
Mm-hmm.
I had to step back and look at some things, and just because of the way we were brought up doesn't mean that because somebody else don't seem like they come up that way that they're wrong,
Right.
right? So that was a lot of adjustments that I had to make on my end.
I mean, I'm looking at you because I think it's you two grew up in the same church. You two grew up under the same like doctrine or same thinking, right? We did not grow up in that way. And so going back to this equally yoked, believed in God. Was a church girl, still a church girl, right? All the things. Went to every youth, YPW, all the things. But because it didn't look like the Kojic church that you guys grew up in, it because it didn't look like the Kojic church. You need a mic. And I had to repeat that, y'all, because the producer back here, that made him have a moment for a second. I think that was, that was very, very different. Because Teresa and I have talked about that before, and just, the way that we grew up, the way, like, what was traditional for us was very different. A part of what they're saying was a part of what we struggled with. It was the expectation of. It was never so much your expectation of me, which is a little different than their story. I think it was the people around you's expectation of me. And you being younger really threw your mind off and what it is that, because these are things that you wanted, right? You expressed in our home. Supposed to be first lady, but that you expressed.
I'm saying that was the expectation.
Yeah. Because you were at a point to where you were the firstborn. You were the thing, right? And then you brought this girl in there with a baby, with a tattoo on her ankle.
Oh, that's a nice tattoo.
With all the things, and that wasn't the expectation. I wasn't the expectation of you, and I wasn't what people expected of you. Nor did God make me to be. I'm not passive, and so when people brought that to me, I'm gonna stand my ground. And that caused a lot of tension. I hated in that because I was immature and did not know how to battle any of that. But it was really difficult because for us, it wasn't internal in our home more so. It ended up becoming internal in our home. But at first, it was the external factors that caused tension in what was joyous and happy when we first got together.
I think that's really good. As we take all those outside entities, we do that in relationships. We take all those outside entities and end up, you said it so elegantly, that they become internal issues. And now it don't always be something that we find strife in. Because we can find balance in what we're doing. Like, as our relationships have grown, we no longer yell. I no longer yell. Yeah, I don't yell in our arguments. Trish and I can have an argument. We can disagree and hurt each other's feelings in the calmest fashion, and then we know exactly what to say, but then understand, like, we're gonna hurt each other's feelings, and then we'll come back to this either tomorrow or we'll come back to it in a couple hours and we'll talk and we'll talk our way through.
You say we coming back tomorrow. I'm saying wake up.
Yeah, Trish ready to talk now.
We're gonna resolve this now.
I'm not going to sleep with that.
And that's a good thing. Like, don't like that's. I can go to sleep because I
Me too.
And I'll get over it, right? Because I'll get over it. I'm like, we don't have to talk about
what
it.
What does the Bible tell y'all? Y'all gonna cut that out.
I know what the Bible says. That's why I said
I ain't going to sleep with that. Wake up.
I know you was totally right, but I can sleep fine.
Okay. And I'll think about it later.
Right. I'll slumber on this thing.
When, like, the arguing thing, I seen too much happen. You know what I'm saying? when the voices get raised, somebody's getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up watching that like all childhood,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was one thing. Before I even knew what marriage was,
Mm-hmm.
that was one thing. It's like I just vowed I'd never do.
Mm-hmm.
The like even with the raising the voice and like raise the voice and then especially being from the street, somebody when that octave change,
An octave change. That meant business.
you better turn around because something happened, and so that
So that's why you hit me.
No! Hey, John hit Trey.
that's good.
That's why we should have cut it off too. Like, that's why you hit me.
Wow.
Khalil on the one.
That's how we should have been like, all right, have a good night.
And look, the craziest thing, even the stuff I've seen with guys and women, even with Halil, I told her because Halil was she was the one she'll fight. She didn't care. So I used to tell Halil, look, whenever you date somebody, get married, whatever. If y'all gonna talk first, do that, but do not put your hands
Right.
on this dude.
Right.
Because if he put his hands on you, everything changes.
Right.
So keep your hands to yourself. And I mean, I don't know how many times I've drilled that in Halil.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that happen,
Mm-hmm.
and it just didn't go well.
How did y'all start to come over? Because I know for us.
You know what? We're gonna hold on to that. We're gonna part 2 this thing.
Oh Lord.
Because we're gonna part 2 this thing. I
Look
just
at
thought
Tree's
about it.
eyes.
Because I started having like 1,010 questions that I wanted to start asking, and I saw your brain start wondering too, which is fantastic. So we're gonna part 2 this thing. So we're gonna stop it right there. And we're gonna stop it right there.
Look at Lathan was
Right?
ready for the stop.
Because we said we were doing 2. Where we at?
We're gonna part 2 this thing. Thank y'all for joining us
Oh,
on
he just
tonight.
really cut us off.
Yeah.
Oh.
I want y'all to hold on to all those thoughts. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna pick it right back up. We're gonna continue to go on date night. So if you want to catch us on, we might come back like next week with it. We might have one next week. We can figure it out. But yeah, so we'll part 2 this thing. Thank y'all for joining us on
Now
tonight.
I gotta remember.
Yeah, you gotta remember. We're talking. Like I said, it's easy.
I gotta remember what I just said.
You just start asking how we come over. We're gonna talk about how we start getting over things.
Okay, well you remember that.
Everybody gonna remember that, right? We're gonna start talking about it. My friend already said no. Friend gonna be on my side.
So who all you see lately?
Who you see?
I know I seen
Yeah, somebody, Delonda.
Rondo, Jason, Jesse Porter,
Naked.
Naked.
Jason.
Jason, right.
Jeff on.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so we're gonna part 2 this thing, and we'll come back next week. We'll start with that point.
Oh, that's the third M was on.
The third M with the Mallories. They were on. That's what's up. That's cool. They're my people. They're my people. But yeah, we'll come back with how we start to get over things, how we start to work our way through some things. We'll come back with that on next week as we'll part 2 it. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. May the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent.
One from another.
One from another.
Good night. Thank y'all.
Good night.